Welcome, welcome, everybody. We are back for another edition of Black Freethinkers, and y'all are riding with me, Pocket Locker 86, aka Dr. J. Bundy. Tonight, yeah, I got a good one for you folks. I'm real excited about the agenda tonight. We're just gonna have some fun. I've been going real hard. Y'all know the drill. Christianity has to go down with Trump. Okay, let's get the disclaimers and all that good stuff out of the way. Y'all know Skeptic Haven is a nonprofit and doesn't endorse any particular candidates or parties, and the blase and the Glavinoids. But yeah, before we jump into the main event, we are gonna take a look at some clips. We speaking out about how people treat black people.
I'm gonna speak only for Caribbean Americans, Caribbean Black Americans, but I think it's so disingenuous for y'all to get on here and be like, well, it's only the Black Americans that are making us feel like we can't, and we have been trying to claim. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. My mom is my black side, and I grew up. The only reason I think a large part of the reason I did not grow up so anti towards black Americans is because my mom remarried a black American and my black American side family raised me. Okay? My Caribbean side very much was like, we're black, but we're not black Americans, and we're not like those people, and they're ghetto and lazy and da 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 da. Those are all things that they say about black Americans.
I would love to focus on the dominant class and racial hierarchy issues, but we got to get the people that look similar to us, that are not of our lineage, out of the mix, because they are just as problematic.
Yep. All right. So this is something we don't talk about, and it's real crazy. But basically, like, if you are, see, this scene got me fucked up. What are y'all doing over here? Hang on a sec, gang. We got straight up scene chaos going over here. All right, let's do this. We're supposed to do this screen, and then I'm supposed to share the screen over here. Oh, there we go. All right. But look, so a lot of y'all might not know about this, but everybody you think is black, that's the best way I could put it. Everybody that you think is black don't think they black. And it's always been a problem. Listen, I always say something very specific, and people don't like to hear me necessarily when I say this very specific thing, which is black people are at the bottom of every social hierarchy. And I mean that very sincerely and very specifically. What I mean by that is, yes, overall, on the world stage, black people are at the bottom of the hierarchy, okay? It also means when you get your ass into colorism, once again, black people are at the bottom of the hierarchy. So on the world stage, if you are South African or some type of real dark Caribbean, or maybe you even from the Middle East, but you dark like me, there's going to be some issues associated with that, okay? That's just kind of a global perspective, okay? But then, even when you go into them spaces and into those communities, into my Caribbean spaces, into my South African spaces, into my peoples in the Middle East that are dark like me, oh, no. There's particular disdain for black Americans, what we might call foundational black Americans over here, that nobody wants to mess with even in those spaces. Again, because of the stereotypes that have been presented to us, in terms of, like they said, lazy and violent and whatever, our culture, and we're ignorant and whatever. Okay, so there's all of that. I think also it's due to our perceived lack of proximity to power and to whiteness, because people want to sort of assimilate with you know, the higher classes or whatever, and so they always siphon out black people as like not really being affiliated with that sort of upward mobility, right? So they play us because they like, nah, I don't want to get down with y'all because I get down with y'all, they gonna be looking at me funny, so I'm a rock with them, right? So, and then it's a problem because of course we want to support Pan-Africanism, which is like, first off, the whole fucking human race is coming out of Africa, so we really need to rewrite the entire narrative on human variation from the start. But beyond that, we want to show solidarity from, you know, all of the people, for all the people that have been oppressed, all the people that have been enslaved, all the people that have been genocided, all the people that have been colonized, okay? And so as black people, like as a black person, you know, that's important to us. So for instance, like right now, I'm particularly concerned about Nigeria because over here in America, the evangelical Christians are going off about this quote unquote Christian genocide in Nigeria. That's of course not actually happening because there's no genocide of Christians in Nigeria. What there is like a violent terrorist group attacking lots of people almost indiscriminately, and most of their victims are Muslim, and they're not the country of Nigeria. They don't represent the state government, and most of Nigeria's defense ministry is actually Christian. So yeah, Nigeria is not genociding Christians, but that's the narrative that has been carried. And so now you have Trump threatening to go in guns blazing to Nigeria. So now I'm concerned because these Christians are getting their panties in a bunch, and now you're going to go invade Nigeria, where again I say black people are. And you know, that's what I mean about that Pan-African consciousness. Like, we trying to include everybody, but everybody don't want to be included. And so you got to be sensitive to that and whatever it is. But that's what them people really talking about. For those that don't know, everybody wants black people to show up when it's their time to be oppressed. They want black people to come to the rescue, black people to show support, black people to be allied with them. But then when it comes to actually treating black people some kind of way, and we're at the tip of the spear, all of a sudden, everybody else is at the other end of the spear rather than standing in solidarity with us. So some of the new for black people in 2025 and for the foreseeable future is we ain't really fucking with y'all like that. We kind of letting people go through their own motions because we've had to go through our motions ourselves so much, and we're tired of showing up for people who don't show up for us in return. And quite frankly, we're tired of fucking warning everybody about what the fuck is going to happen if things go a certain way, only to be shunned and silenced and told we're too angry and too emotional and too yada, yada, yada. And then once again, once Rome is burning, y'all want to circle right back to them same black people that told you not to do this shit in the first place. And all of a sudden you want us to have our hair on fire. Little do you know, all that bullshit that we was trying to tell y'all not to go down road in the first place. Yeah, guess what? Guess who the first people that felt the brunt of that change was? Yeah, that was us. So when they got rid of the DEI programming and they fired motherfuckers, you know who felt that the hardest? If you guessed black women, ding, 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 you are correct. When they cut the SNAP benefits, yeah, who you think felt that the hardest? If you said women of color, ding, 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 you are correct. So our people we just lost our jobs. We lost all them DEI programs. We lost a lot of our scholarship programs. The school's not taking us anymore because now they saying they ain't got no federal money coming in from DEI, which is funny because that's almost like the school telling you that they really wasn't fucking with you in the first place. And they was really only admitting you to this school because there was federal money that I guess they was putting into DEI programs and shit. And now that the federal government done snatched up the DEI money, instead of the schools saying, well, that's cool, we're going to just keep admitting black people anyway because, you know, they're kind of like qualified to study here and shit. Now, all of a sudden, our numbers is falling off. What's up with that? What the fuck is up with that? So, you know, now the healthcare is all fucked up. Healthcare premiums them skyrocket. So black people, we stress. We got shit. We got our own shit to deal with. We got our own situations and circumstances, and we ain't really got time for these people who, again, we told them what the fuck was about to happen, and they didn't want to listen. And on top of that, we gave them the alternative. On top of that, we gave them the alternative. She wasn't perfect. She wasn't all of that. We certainly had our disagreements, but we gave y'all incredibly qualified black woman making history as an option, and we can all have nice things and get along. And no, all of a sudden y'all was just so principled and so ethical, and you were so upset about things going on. All of a sudden y'all couldn't do that. So I don't know what you want us to tell you. I don't know what they want from me. All right, let's get into the next clip, y'all. Yeah, she about to tell y'all the same thing. Here we go.
So many foreigners will come to this country and look down on black Americans like we're like the scumbags of the earth and like turn their noses up at us and be racist towards us. And then all of a sudden, when they feel like they're in some type of debacle or they need some type of help, now they're looking at us like, oh, we're supposed to be standing in solidarity. We're all POCs. It's like, well, first of all, more importantly, there is no country that you can go to on this earth where you don't have to have some type of visa or there's not some type of immigration law. So if you're in a country, any country, illegally, then at some point you're probably going to get caught and you're probably going to be deported.
Yeah, the sister is right. There's no more one-sidedness of foundational black Americans throwing on the cape for other groups and helping other groups when they're not showing reciprocity with us. So that's why they're giving us so much hostility. And so they need to understand that this is the new norm now.
Yeah, and I will tell y'all this too. Oh, this is something else we're gonna visit another time. That's not for this show. But I'm gonna tell y'all like this. I'm not even with the anti-immigration stuff. First off, I don't ask me, y'all. Don't ask me. Them borders would be open. The borders would be open like that. Dog, y'all don't even know. I would just be standing at all the borders with like citizenship papers just basically like pre-filled out. You just tell us your name, your birthday or whatever. They'd be like, oh, I forgot my paperwork back in Mexico. Like, oh, I forgot my ID. But like, come on in, it's America. We don't really give a shit. We let all these fucking racist ass white people up in here. We ain't give them a hard time. And what is all this talk about the motherfucking southern border, but we don't talk about what's going on at the other borders? Or who's flying up in this motherfucker. I wonder why we always talking about the southern border, but we don't really be worried about all the other ways that people come in this country. I wish I would be worried about that goddamn southern border. Like I said, I'll be out there just giving them tickets. They be like, what is this raffle? It's a raffle ticket for citizens. You just have a ticket, you a citizen, we don't really need to know nothing else, like whatever. Like it just is what it is. We let bad people in here all the time and have the Americans bad people. Now let me tell you what I really want. What I really want is a citizen exchange program. I really want to get the fuck up out of here. So I wish they would just like call up one of these other governments or whatever the fuck. And if you're so worried about fucking immigration, let's just do a fucking exchange program. I'm telling you, it's a lot of us like me that want to get the fuck up out of here and could just use a little bit of help from the government, you know, working out some of the logistics and some of the funds and all of that type of shit. So if you really worried about the numbers, I'll go. I will go in their stead. You could let an immigrant in and I will peace out. You know, do it like they do in the NBA. Just call them up, be like, yeah, I got a evolutionary biologist over here. I don't know, he could play some drums or some shit. What you got over there? Oh, I got like we got like a doctor over here. He does like heart disease and stuff like, yeah, cool, let's trade. You know what I'm saying? And just work out the trade, throw in a couple draft picks, throw in some cash or whatever to make the values equal out or whatever. And let's get this thing going. You know what I'm saying? So don't mess with me. But understand something. That's where black people is at right now. Black people is really there right now. And yeah, even a lot of this deportation shit, like I said, I don't support no deportation of nobody. You know, even if you're a violent criminal, do I want you deported? No, because I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with you when you get where you're going. So if you're already serving time here, you might as well just stay here and finish up your time. If you did the crime in America, you could do the time in America. Now, if you did the crime before you got here and you in America, then I don't see how we have the jurisdiction to be convicting people for crimes they didn't commit here anyway. So I don't know. You know, I didn't go all the way with law school, but I did spend some time in the prosecutor's office. I do know there's very strict rules about jurisdiction. So I don't know how the fuck people think we gonna just be holding people accountable in America for crimes they committed on other continents. I don't know how that works out. Y'all gonna have to figure that one out and get back to me. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm letting all the people in, but black people just ain't fucking with y'all no more. I'm just telling you, they just don't. Oh, black people just don't care right now, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it because, one, it feels like black people like focusing, like really like we got to buckle down and take care of each other and really look out for our own communities. And number two, I'm here for the content. I'm here for the sass. I'm here for the spice. I'm here for the flavor that my people bring to what we do. So I'm here for it.
The fuck off of white TikTok. Like, for real, get me off of it. I need black people to start commenting ASAP because I'm over there and them asses are talking about, oh my God, do y'all know SNAP benefits come from us? We give out SNAP benefits. It comes from us. It was created for y'all. The first white person to receive SNAP benefits was what, 1939? And her name was Maybelle and she lived in New York. And baby, when black folks tried to get it, they excluded the sharecroppers as well. And then white wholesalers manipulated the program and profited off of it, leaving black folks out to the dust. Now, what stopped that shit was the Food Stamp Act of 1964. 64, y'all. My mama was born in 65.
My mama, a lot of our mamas was born around then, y'all. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? 64... Let me be clear how we talk about this. The motherfuckers that was born in like 64, 65, them the elders. They not the ancestors, they're the elders. Y'all know the difference? The elders are still here with us. The ancestors is on the other side. They not the ancestors, they're the elders.
Get this straight, white people. Y'all have benefited off of food stamps longer than any other race in this fucking country. Black folks just got that shit for real in 1964. Hell, we got that before we got our voting rights. And then in the 1980s, y'all got pissed off that we were getting actual help. And y'all started coming up with the trope, the welfare queen, saying black people and black women in particular were using food stamps to get over on the government, leading to increased restrictions and eligibility. Restrictions only harmed low-income people of color.
Also, can y'all imagine a room full of black people sitting around scheming about how they're going to take advantage of the government giving assistance to black people. Boy, them be the dumbest black people that have ever lived. Boy, them be some black people that natural selection would take care of in about 5 minutes. Them be some dead Negroes. You understand what I'm saying to you? Black people sitting around scheming like, yeah, we gonna get up in there. Oh yeah, we gonna take advantage of them government grants. We will starve immediately. Okay? Anytime there's a government program, please understand it exists primarily for the benefit of white folks. If it wasn't primarily benefiting white folks, it would not exist. That's what happens when you live in a white supremacist, capitalist, patriarchal society. So y'all just need to understand that that's just the nature of it. There's no such thing as a government program in the United States of America that exists primarily for the benefit of black folks. What is wrong with y'all?
Folks. As of 2023, 37% of white people in America are on SNAP. 26% are black and 16% are Hispanic. So who's really living off our shit? Y'all get on my nerves.
She said, y'all get on my nerves. Oh, this one's good. Now this is for my black people. This is something we got to talk about. Our mothers, y'all know I be going through it. You know, y'all know my mom crazy. I got one of them crazy Christian moms, and we don't get into the mental health enough, and we don't talk about the narcissism that sometimes we deal with from our mamas. This you gonna hear it right here.
My mama listens, but she don't hear.
Okay, give me an example.
Please. I told her like, hey mom, I got violated and stuff like that. in January. I was violated. And she lit a cigarette and was like, okay. And she started like, she had tears in her eyes and stuff like that. And I was like, that's it? And then she didn't say nothing. And I got up and I walked off.
What was going through your mind?
I was molested when I was younger. This is a triggering conversation for me. One thing I will not do is sit here and be ridiculed by my own child who knows I will go to the ends of the earth for you. You know it.
Mama,
no,
I didn't
listen.
say, no,
you didn't say your piece. Now listen to me. And the reasons why I didn't say nothing, because you know this already. If you felt like you needed more help, I'm not the one to help you with it, because I ain't done with my own healing. And you know this. This is not something I hear from you. So if you needed that healing, what you should have did was got yourself some doggone professional help, or reached out to me and said, I need professional help. So how the hell am I supposed to help you if I can't help myself?
All right, now we're going to go through the commentary on that, because that commentary was on fire, but I wanted y'all to see the whole clip.
Mama listens,
but now we're
she
going to
don't
break it
hear.
down. All right, so she said she listened, but she don't hear. Now let's listen. All right, so her body language starts with aggressive. Notice, if you black, see, a lot of y'all, I don't know how y'all mamas get down, because when I wasn't raised in y'all household. But we know when our mama look at that and she cock her head to the side like that, when she do that look, when she do that look, that's the, oh no you didn't, child. Oh no you did not have the audacity. Oh, and we in public. And we on TV. Oh no! Oh no! You didn't. So the body language starts very aggressive. That head cocked to the side and that downward sideways glance. Oh yeah, that's like woo. That's a threat. That's a whole ass threat of nuclear war. You feel like your house might vaporize when she look at you like that.
I told her like, hey mom, I got violated and stuff like that. In January, I was violated.
And then she said you could see the contempt in her eyes. Yes, you can. She looking through that child.
And she lit a cigarette and was like, okay. And she started like, she had.
All right, her body language shows no empathy for her daughter being raped. Notice how she went with that kind of smug smile. I'm gonna let you watch her facial expression again. But she nodded like, sure did. I sure did blow it off.
And she lit a cigarette and was like, okay. And she started like, she had
see that look right there? Like, sure did. What seems to be the problem? Right? Totally dismissive.
in her eyes and stuff like that. And I was like,
no
that's it.
empathy.
And
That's
she
how
didn't
they
say
are.
nothing. And I got up and I walked off.
What was going through your mind?
Definition of a fucking
I was molested when I was
narcissist.
younger. This is a triggering.
All right, so she brings up something for her past to make it about her and fails to acknowledge her daughter's experience. Exactly. Classical fucking narcissist move. Who, me? I did something wrong? Who, me? The perfect holy one? No. No. Oh, no, I'm the victim at all times. Nope, I'm always the victim. No, actually, this is about my trauma, okay? And how dare you put me in this situation where I have to relive my trauma? What are you talking about, the trauma I caused you? What about the trauma you're causing me right now? That's what that is. We know about that.
Conversation for me. One thing I will not do is sit here and be ridiculed by my own.
And she says she then gets defensive and attacks her daughter, switching herself to be the victim when she's not. Exactly. We this is not even about you.
Child who knows I will go to the ends of the earth for you. You know
Right? And then gaslights to make her daughter be the villain. Yep. See, this is something I actually learned about because I was doing a project on infanticide. Ask me why. No, actually, y'all know Marin. Y'all know Marin, Misinterpretations. That's what she wrote her master's thesis on. So I decided to make it my project so I could read it. And so one of the concepts that came up is personhood. And so it made me think about how, like, basically in a lot of societies with, for instance, like high infant mortality, you don't name a child until the child's like a few years old. That way it's kind of gotten through the period of highest mortality. And so you start to think about that. And part of what you realize, because you have to put infanticide on the spectrum with like abortion and whatever, right, is that there's really this whole spectrum of what you might call maternal ambivalence or, mixed emotions about motherhood. And it's very culturally defined, like how a culture basically treats motherhood. That dictates not only the status of motherhood and the role expected to go along with that status, but also dictates what is the acceptable range of emotional responses. So one of the consequences of that is that we live in a society with very low infant mortality. Like we start naming babies after you find out you're fucking pregnant because there's such a low chance that, you know, it's not gonna survive. And then we have these really, you know, powerful notions of ideal motherhood and sacrifice. And basically a mother is supposed to always enjoy that or always appreciate that, or all of that is supposed to be a selfless expression of a mother's love, right? And we don't really have a socially acceptable way to acknowledge the fact that a lot of people regret having kids or regret having specific kids, right? And so it then becomes like there's no real healthy way to deal with that maternal ambivalence. So then you have, if you're a child of a person that can't experience or process their emotions or really how they really are as a mother, they're forced to like maintain this ideal image because in our society, only ideal motherhood is acceptable. So again, going along with the religion and the cognitive dissonance, being a less than ideal mother is something people can't accept about themselves. So when she hears this, she goes, oh no, and my child knows I will go to the ends of the earth for her, right? Like gaslighting her and like making her feel guilty when in reality, like nobody asked you even to go to the ends of the earth for your child. We're literally sitting here talking about how your child told you she was assaulted and you didn't show any empathy or concern for that child. So how about you don't have to go to the ends of the earth, you just be real. And this is something I feel like so many people, especially those of us with mothers who are, you know, in these sort of narcissistic religions where the religion got them halfway down the road to psychotic narcissism as it is. You know, a lot of times we're in conflict with them and it's like they can't deal with us as real people or real emotions. So we get this guilt tripping, these narratives of everything that they sacrificed for us and everything that they did for us. And it's supposed to wipe out the fact that they're the source of so much trauma and pain in our lives. So I don't know, I just fuck with this clip. It's like a 1 minute clip, but the person who broke it down, like, man, they did such a good job.
Mama,
No,
I didn't
listen.
say, no,
you said
'cause I
you didn't say your piece. Now listen to me. And the reasons why I didn't say nothing, because you know this already. If you
And they said this is called Darvo, so y'all got to look into that. That's for narcissism.
felt like you needed more help,
I'll tell you
I'm
about
not the one to help you with it, because I ain't done with my own healing. And you know this. This is not something I hear from you. So if you needed that healing, what you should have did was got yourself some doggone professional help, or reached out to me and said, I need professional help. So
She said narcissists hate you because they hate themselves.
how the hell am I supposed to help you if I can't
Remember,
help
it's
myself?
not you. All right, so that was super cool. All right, so we got a little bit of explanation over here. Darvo is an acronym for a manipulation tactic often used by individuals with narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder. Remember, there's a spectrum. To avoid accountability when confronted about their behavior, it stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. So you deny what you're dealing with, you attack the other person, and you reverse who's in the role of victim and offender. All right, so that's your little bit psychology for the week. All right, we got one more clip for y'all. Then we're going to jump into the main event.
Here's a shot of Barry Weiss at CBS on her way to fire all the black people in the building. One of the first things she did was to eliminate the race and culture unit because who gives a fuck about that shit? There's also
Crazy.
this because, of course, she was a DEI hire.
Bye, Gail King.
And a young producer, Tony
Crazy.
Sherman, says he got dumped and all the black people on his team got dumped and all the white people got reassigned.
I just got laid off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive who told me I was getting laid off, I specifically asked him if
We went from DEI and race-based hiring to race-based firing. I
Yeah.
mean, why would a news organization
Yeah.
need to have black people in it?
So that's what we dealing with. And also shout out to all these white content creators who are really actually just straight up shining a light on black people and adding minimal to the situation and sometimes nothing, but are just like, no, I'm gonna take my platform right now and I'm gonna highlight the experience and voice of these black people. Congratulations. Good on you. Way to fucking be. Way to fucking exemplify. All right, let's jump into the main event of the evening, what you are all here for, what we are here to do, which is to celebrate this other beautiful black queen. Her name is Shayna Condi. You should subscribe to her channel. Speaking of people you should subscribe to, you subscribe to Ember. Me and Ember were over there doing our first edition of adult Bible study. It is raunchy and it is kinky, okay? And this is to serve you up that same flavor. It's to really think deep in sort of what we might call the, I don't know, psychologitainment. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with, psychologitainment. Okay, that's what this is. It's a mix of like entertainment and edutainment with psychologizing people in deliberately perverted ways, okay? Because let's be real, the human psyche is all about sex. And if you want to understand what's going on in the world around you, you just have to understand the sex of it all right? And so Shane is going to help us understand why she has a controversial take on the submissive nature of powerful white men. And if you want to understand what my take is going to be while we're going through all this, well, it just so happens that a lot of these same powerful white men are all about getting on their knees in their closet, looking up and crying out to their Lord and their master and their father and their daddy. I think she might be onto something.
I think I cooked something pretty heavy and deep fried in the kitchen when it comes to what is happening here, right? So for those of you who don't know, Zoran Mamdani, not the president-elect, the mayor-elect of New York City, he has won. Congratulations. Love that for New York. He came to the White House, said that he was gonna, talk to folks, said he would have a conversation with Trump, and Trump was just giddy, kicking his feet, just like fangirling heavy. I think this was the only person that he actually gave compliments to in his entire time in the White House, and truly just like looking like this for most of the time that Zoran was next to him. He shows him around the White House, lets him take pictures around a painting that Zoran has admired. I think it was an FDR painting. Trump posted it on his socials. Now here's what I think I realized here. I think that, and I will dive into this, there will be more nuance, I promise. I think that Trump is just a brat, like in the most BDSM-y way and in the least consensual way possible. I think that he's just a brat. And while I think
in the least consensual way possible, y'all, we've always got to put that caveat. It's almost like when we put these men in the history books of perverts. Is that a thing? The history books of perverts, the Guinness World Records of nasty, the fucking ultimate leaderboard of fucking grossness. They all have to have that fucking asterisk next to all of their records that just says in the least consensual way possible. I was thinking about this earlier, gang, and society is obviously at a terrible place. But from what we're hearing, gang, there's over 1,000 victims of the whole Jeffrey Einstein ring. We're just going to go with that from the Jimmy Kimmel show. I'm actually glad Einstein's dead because I have a terrible feeling if Noam Chomsky's on that list, Einstein's dumbass would be on that list too. Just another shame for the state of New Jersey. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and say that they said there's over 1,000 victims, gang. And I think that that's like a war number. Like, isn't like 1,000 victims of something like war territory? So could we officially call it like a war on little girls that no one's being held responsible for. I don't know. I was just thinking, I don't know what to do with that number. That's a lot of people. So in the least consensual way possible is seriously understatement, but we're trying not to go all the way down that rabbit hole tonight because we're focusing on their other, I guess their other kink, their other freaky side, the other weird stuff that they're in the closet. This is a mess.
Specific moment in time when it comes to Zoran being and I understand an attractive man, a charming Libra. As a Libra myself, I get it. We're precious. We are incredibly charming folk. But even outside of that, I think that Trump is just an unattached.
We got to get paid, y'all.
I think that he's just a brat looking for somebody to put him in his place. And I think that why he's having so much of this specific energy towards Zoran is because Zoran was able to, he did not get super PAC money, APAC money, as much as Trump tried to.
No, it makes so much sense though. You know what I just realized? Okay, so I was always saying this, and I want to reiterate this here for all the white liberals in the audience. Zoran shamed you. He shamed you. He did, because everybody's been so apologetic. Everybody on the left is so afraid of their own shadows. And they're always like, oh, I don't want to upset the MAGA people. We have to reach across the aisle. Don't say mean things to them. Don't call them names. You know, don't talk about your super liberal policy ideas. Don't. They're going to say socialism. They're going to say socialism. Don't. Stop. What do you mean? What do you mean universal health care? What do you mean we shouldn't have student loan debt? What are you talking about, a universal? Stop. You're a communist. Stop. Don't say that. You're going to embarrass us. Okay? And Mam-Dom-Me just literally rolled up to the White House all cash. Like I said, I wouldn't even gone if I was him. I would have stayed home in the borough, gone on vacation to get ready for my term, and said, Trump, what the fuck are you going to do? Cut off the money to New York City? I wish you would try. But Zoran was like, nah, Jay, I'm gonna get started early. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. I'm ready to get to work. I'm gonna just roll through the White House and make sure I get this federal funding for my city real quick. So he just rolls through the White House and basically just pulls up in Trump on private in the offices and just like, yeah, man, you probably won a whole lot of votes talking about like affordability and draining the swamp and all that shit. You didn't actually do any of it. But yeah, a lot of people did vote for you because of that stuff. So I'm going to actually make the city more affordable. And then I don't know, you could like take credit for it or say it was your idea all along or whatever you want to do. But like, yeah, can we just play nice for a couple hours and make sure you keep this federal funding going? And Trump just caved. Like he was just like, I've been waiting for a big, strong man like you to come in here and remind me how much I really do love my New York City. Ooh, I'm going to have to come visit in Trump Tower and just see all the great things you're doing in the city. Ooh, I'll send you the federal funding, but maybe we could have lunch when I come visit Trump Tower. Oh, Mr. Big, Strong Man. And then they went out in front of the press, and then the press thought they was gonna hit Zoran with the gotcha. They were like, Zoran, but look, all your policies are basically, you call yourself a democratic socialist. Most Americans, most of Trump's fans think you're a communist. What? And he was like, yeah, I'm a socialist. I told you I'm a democratic socialist. I ran on the ticket of democratic socialism, and yeah, now that I won, I'm gonna do democratic socialism, and yeah, New Yorkers are gonna like it. Yeah, they're gonna enjoy this affordability. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna enjoy having homes and a city-run grocery store and really, really cheap public transportation. They're gonna love it. Yep. And we're gonna raise taxes on the millionaires. Yep. And we're gonna raise taxes on the companies. Yeah, I know they said they're gonna leave, but they're a bunch of punk ass bitches. They're not gonna go anywhere. And he was totally right. And then they were like, you said Trump was a fascist. You said he was a big, meanie fascist. Didn't you? Didn't you say he was a big, meanie fascist? Do you want to walk that back now? And Zoran was like, listen, you understand how I feel about this man. I've made it very clear. I feel Trump was like, no, you're my big strong man. You can tell them. I think you think I'm a fascist. Go ahead, tell them you think I'm a fascist. He was like, yeah, I think he's a fascist. Y'all, he shamed you. All that bending over backwards you've been doing since 2016. All that groveling you've been doing for like a decade for nothing. And it never got you no respect, no type of motion twin, nothing. And Zoran just rolled in there straight up on some democratic socialism and got it done. And now Trump is fawning over him. And then it just makes so much sense because he loves the big strong man. See, y'all thought the left was all about weak. All you had to do was do big strong man on the left. We've been saying this.
Doors all of his opponents, as many millions of dollars were put into keeping this man out of office. He held to his morals. Now that he has been elected, he is working towards keeping all of the promises that he has made to the citizens of New York City. And that is an incredibly respectable thing to do. And I think that he is allegedly, these are all of my opinions, these are all of my thoughts.
Facts,
this is real. I think that he is turned on in a way.
He is. It's his thing.
I'm not necessarily saying that it's sexual.
It's his thing.
I am saying that the fact that
it's a big, strong man. And to Trump's mind, he looks like one of those international world leaders. You know, I think Trump likes a man with a tan, from being honest. He doesn't like a man with the tan, you know, when it comes to who he's got to deport, but when it comes to who to admire, I think he likes a man with the tan, you know what I'm saying?
That he has gone full brat across this White House, across the federal government, and nobody has stood up to him, said enough is enough. Even the conversation about like, oh, well.
Also, low key, this is going to sound weird, but I think the uber conservative Christian type, because I don't think Trump's actually an uber conservative Christian, but he's the uber conservative Christian type in terms of, you know, the overlap of who they hate and the bigotries and the awfulness and the absolute thirst for power type of person. That type of person, they also kind of fetishize Islam, because in their head, Islam takes all the sort of like patriarchal things that they love and just like kicks it into high gear, like turns it up to 11, you know what I'm talking about? And they love that. I forget, what's the name of the band that turns it up to 11 from the fucking VH1 movie? Y'all know what I'm talking about. They just turned it up to 11. So you've seen this, right? If you've ever seen like, if you look up like clips of like Andrew Tate talking about Islam, it's like they're literally like salivating over being able to be even more patriarchal. So it could be like the man with the tan. Then he's got a subtle little hidden Islam kink going on. And so it's just getting his cheeks all rosy. And look at his cheeks. He's not even orange. He's literally turning red, y'all. He's going from like a hard orange to like a rough pomegranate.
That he's a fascist. And Zoran was trying to be like, well, yeah, I've said it before, but I can't say it here. And then Trump was like, no, it's okay. You can say it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But you know what? I'll get even more specific, because I don't think that this is specifically about Zoran Mam-Dom-Me. So this is an article on Grindr. If we're going to talk about how
appealing.
I think about my theory, this is all a lie. I know nothing. Okay. If we're going to talk about my theory, we got to go straight to the source. So quick little convo about what is a brat. I
got to say, like, humans are beautiful in like, and part of it is our colors. You guys remember that like complexion box of crayons that was like all the different colors so you could like draw skin more accurately? I fucks with that. Also fucks with all the inclusive makeup we do. But yeah, people have like a lot of fucking beautiful ass complexions to us. That shit needs to be
grinder.
appreciated.
In BDSM, a brat refers to a silly, cheeky little devil who wants
A
to get
cheeky
into
little
trouble.
devil.
It's commonly referenced with a dominant sub dynamic in mind, with the brat in question being the submissive. Oh, also, if you have children watching this with you, please send them somewhere far away. And we're back. It's actually not that different from a traditional dom-sub dynamic, only the punishment and reactions from the dom are dragged out by poor behavior from the brat. And then we get a little cheeky veer on. But there's a couple of key... So one, keep all of this in mind as we continue on. So in these kinds of
Look,
relationships...
if Mom Donnie's gonna make fucking socialism sexy, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's just right now declare him sexiest man of the year or whatever. Can we do that retroactively, or do we have to like carry him over for next year or something? I don't know. Let's go with it. Whatever we need, right? Actually, that's been a huge part of the problem, is that the left, we've been a little bit underwhelming in terms of our willingness to engage in sort of the celebrification of politicians. And I get it. For most of us, there's a very good reason for that. We want, politicians who are actually experienced public officials who have spent a lifetime of what's that thing called? Oh yeah, public service. And so they should be able to kind of like do a job that almost by necessity means you're way too busy to be building a celebrity base, running a scam, and running casinos into the ground, which I still don't stand how you can bankrupt multiple casinos. I don't understand how bad you have to be at business to run casinos where the house always wins into the ground. How do you lose money? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. The point is, if people love Mom Donnie, let's ride with it, y'all. Let's run with it. Let's do the bobbleheads. Let's do the stickers. Let's do the magazine covers. Let's do all the stuff, because, God damn it, capitalism sucks. Capitalism sucks, gang, and I'm suffering, and I hate it. Keep it together. Keep it together. People are watching.
What is the dominant or the brat tamer's role here? The brat tamer is the dominant partner on the receiving end of all the naughty foolishness. They have one goal: get their brat under control by any means necessary. But here it's really just like, okay, we got to talk about consent, what's been laid out, what's agreed upon, like can't cross the boundaries.
Yeah.
There is no consent with what Trump is doing with it. But this is what it's supposed to be. It's
Also, can we talk about this for a second, that part of the grossness of this whole movement of these weirdo men is that they have systematically and publicly pushed back about consent. I know we're doing this thing where we're supposed to be super surprised every time they do the naughty things to pretty much everybody. But can we also acknowledge that they have basically publicly told us over and over and over again that consent is part of the godless left's woke DEI propaganda machine? And so I don't know, but I'm to these people, consent is about as valuable and real as COVID-19 and the Epstein files. Like, consent is a Democrat hoax to these people. And I just think that when they go on the record finally for their crimes, in the generation's future where that happens, because I'm starting to feel like I will not live to see that day. But when it happens, we need to put their public campaign against the very concept of consent on the goddamn record.
Is currently happening. In my theory, once again, what do I know? I'm a liar. What does it take to be a good brat tamer?
There you go.
It helps if you have a lot of patience, since it runs pretty thin quickly. You'll have to be okay with your buttons being pushed on purpose. And most importantly, you can't be too soft on your brat.
Seriously.
I think that Trump has been looking for his dom. He's been looking for his tamer. Okay, I was gonna save this towards the end, but I'm just gonna say it now. I think that Trump
another
really
thing he left
wants
out
the
is
American
infinite wisdom.
public to be his, no, let me rephrase. I think that when he entered into the White House, he was hoping that the federal government would be his dom, would be his tamer. I think he thought that the Democrats would put him in his place, would make him realize, oh yeah, you can't get away with this, and you've thrown
I'm
enough
saying no,
tantrums.
but see, it makes so much sense because we all thought the same thing, right? Like we all thought, like, oh, this Trump thing, it's gonna be stupid. Like I think that's what most of us thought. Like it's gonna be stupid and it's gonna be bad in the sense that like he's gonna be embarrassing as like the president in real life. But like it's kind of gonna be okay because there's like all this like institutional structure and history and like institutional crap in place and it's all gonna be fine. And we were wrong.
And you have to stop stomping your feet, just like shut up and whatever, right? All those like filthy, naughty things that I recognize that Bubba is probably, listen, you know what? Okay, so Bubba might not be Bill Clinton. In reality, you can't tell me that I'm allowed to believe whatever it is I want. I think he tried to find, even in Bill, once again, I recognize, technically, I was probably not Bill Clinton. I don't want to think about it being a horse. But, like, not but, and there's...
But there's something else kind of here, though, which is, think about this, gang. Okay, so is Bubba Bill Clinton or a horse or something else? According to Jeffrey Epstein's brother, okay, apparently not. But I don't care. And I think we're allowed to think whatever we want until we're given real answers. If you really want us to know that Bubba is not one of these things, then y'all should come out and tell us who Bubba is. And if you don't want to tell us who Bubba is, then we're going to speculate. And you're just going to have to deal with it and get over it. Okay? But setting aside the whole Bubba email controversy, Donald Trump has always had a fucking fetish about the Clintons, particularly Bill Clinton. Matter of fact, I think his whole antagonistic thing about Hillary is really just like his fetishization of Bill, like just spilling over onto her. Plus then she had the whole like audacity of being a woman thing, and also like way smarter than him and way more qualified to do the actual job they were trying to do. So sure, he wasn't a huge fan of that. But I think a lot of his original smoke for her, definitely really about her husband. So he's always had a thing with like wanting to prove that he's like on a par with guys like Bill Clinton, right? Because he's always thought like, oh, I'm Donald Trump. I'm like powerful because I'm a powerful businessman. And also I'm a celebrity. So Trump always had that going for him because like celebrities are usually like rich and like influential and well known, but they're not necessarily like powerful because they're just not. And I think for him to be able to like put those things together where it's like, oh, I'm a celebrity, but I'm also like powerful because I'm a businessman, even though he's not good at either of those things really. He then felt like he always had to compete against other well-known and powerful businessman. Like I think that was his whole thing with like Vince McMahon, because like him or love him, Vince was actually, I guess, a little bit more, definitely more made than like self-made than Donald Trump, in the sense that he had to like actually build his empire into what it became. And on top of that, like he was also famous. So he had this with like rich and famous men, right? But then I think when he deals with like the Clintons of the world, like Clinton's like laughing at guys like Trump and McMahon because he's like, I'm like in the circles of real power, right? And so I think he's always had a thing there, right? And then there's the whole thing with Obama, right? Where like Obama makes fun of him at that press dinner. And I actually kind of think we need to execute Barack Obama. Listen, just hear me out. Just hear me out. I'm not calling for violence against the man. I'm just saying, to the extent that like Trump is literally the worst thing ever and committed like an insurrection, I think Obama making fun of Trump is actually what motivated his entire political career. So who's really responsible And what should the fucking consequences be of unleashing Donald Trump on us? I appreciate Barack Obama for holding it down, but somebody needs to pay for this shit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, let's continue.
He was trying to find it in the Democrats. He was trying to find it in the political opposition. But everybody kept bending over and just spreading their cheeks.
Big, beautiful
being
Bill.
like, oh, yeah, whatever it is you want, Big Daddy Trump. Meanwhile, he's out here throwing... You know what? Let's go through what this article says about what goes into how to become a brat. And we can parallel this with what has been happening in our government. So, how to be a brat. 1, ignore or refuse orders. It's time to talk back and stomp your feet because it's just not fair. Ignoring your dom is going to infuriate them. Hooray. If you just type in Trump ignores federal judge, the amount of examples that show up, this is just the first page on Google, the amount of, so here's example number 1. Number 2, be annoying. Depending on your personality, this may or may not come naturally to you. It also requires that you know what your dom finds annoying. This could mean arriving late for dates, passive-aggressive behavior like rolling your eyes or huffing and puffing or invading your dom's personal space. No, I'm not touching you. He knows exactly how to get under the Democrat's skin. We've been seeing all of this.
This is what he's been doing the whole time. He's literally just coming on to them in his own way. He's literally like, I'm going to ignore the Constitution because you're so obsessed with it. I'm going to ignore all of the decorum and the political procedures because you guys are so obsessed with it. And he's like, please give me attention. Please give me attention. And all they do is give him attention. All they do is give him attention, but they give him the wrong type of attention. They're always conceding to him. They're always groveling to him. They're always then upholding the process, right? Like the brat is trying to get you to say like, oh, fuck it. You keep interfering with these things that are important to me. So now I'm going to fuck you and discipline you. And we're about to get rough and it's going to be awesome because I'm going to discipline you and punish you for interfering with my thing. But the Democrats don't do that. The Democrats are just like, oh no, you violated the process. We must uphold the process. How can we put the process back together? And Donald Trump's like, watch me pee on it. I'm peeing on the process while you try to put it back together. Watch me take a dump on the process while you put it back together. And like, oh no, we must keep putting the process back together. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to play their role in this game, y'all.
I'm going to say that I think that he has shifted his expectations from the Democrats being his dom. Once we go through all of these, I will explain who I think now he is trying to get to be his dom.
We didn't get the best sexual education, and we used to be Christians. Show us some grace. We're learning, okay? We're learning a little late. We were today years old when we started to think about kink, okay? Okay, but we're trying. This is adult education, okay? Damn it. Be sensitive.
Interrupt. As a brat, whatever you have to say is more important than your dom. Say whatever you want, whenever you want. Submissives.
Oh my God, this is exactly what he does.
Any interview that he has with a journalist, with a Democratic senator, with somebody that does not agree with him, he will speak over them time and time again.
And then he's like, and you're a piggy. You're a nasty woman. You're a nasty little pig. It's totally there. It's totally there. Again, they don't respond to it the right way. You've got to see, Sumami, we're learning, but America is dying because America is still not learning. America is still not learning this lesson, and he won't stop. And it's only year 1. Gang, there's 3 more years of this. Do you understand that? Listen, I don't know what y'all are going through right now, but I'm just going to put it to you like this. I cannot do 2025 again. Did y'all hear what the fuck I just said to you? I cannot do 2025 again. So I don't know what the motherfucking game plan is for the next 3 years, y'all. But something got to change because this 2025 shit is not it. Not hitting 10 out of 10. Would not recommend. No. Can't do it again.
saying absolute nonsense, or unfortunately, something that should not be funny, but occasionally is. Like the interrupt, we all know. We can pick a moment in time, just any moment in time, and an image, a video of him interrupting somebody trying to say something important will immediately come to mind. Pretend you don't understand. I think that this just plays out whenever somebody tries to ask him a question about what are you doing? What is the plan? And then he speaks in circles. Moving on, embarrass your dog. Okay, there's words on here that I can't say, and I'm just gonna cover that up so that way I don't get into. Yeah. The I think that it's pretty embarrassing for folks focusing on the Democratic Party. I think that it is incredibly embarrassing to be a Democrat. It's been for a while, but it's very embarrassing now.
Gang, I just noticed that we're getting this from Grindr.com. So this is basically the source. This is basically I would say that Grindr.com should actually call itself the real authoritative Christian right Bible. This is the actual Bible of the Christian right. That thing that says HOLYBIBLE, they don't. Yeah, that's nobody. That's got no motion, twin. Nobody's following that. Okay, what we know they're on, but they're crashing Grindr. Okay. Now let me ask yourself a question. When was the last time you heard that CPAC crashed Bible Gateway? Never in your life. You've never, not one single time in your life, heard all the conservatives got together and the Bible websites crashed. But every time these fools get together, Grindr servers just jump out the window. I'm just saying.
Because he's embarrassing them. He's putting them in positions to be embarrassed at a global level.
In teen mode.
And it's working.
Oh my
now,
God.
I think that he's doing
vicious.
all of this to get a reaction out of the Democrats, which they are not giving him the reaction that he wants. Why? Because they're still spreading their cheeks, and he's not into that. He doesn't want that. But he's not going to stop anyway. Why? Because he's a brat. And last is the runaway. Catch me if you can. And maybe you want him to because there's a punishment waiting for you when he finally does. Bonus points for taunting him as you send him on a wild goose chase through a department store.
Oh
now,
my goodness.
I do think that this overlaps with some of the like Project 2025 stuff. The constant breaking news and the look here, look at the whiplash that we all experience in these. I'm trying to cover this so that way this video doesn't get taken down.
Wow, is that what he's? And I think that's why he just keeps criming. See, you gotta remember, it's like, okay, there's ethos and then there's translation, right? You've heard it said that rich people have like rich people problems, right? Like after this, I'm gonna eat, and I have to think about, okay, I did the show tonight. That puts me a little bit later than I want to be for dinner, but I want to get a certain amount of sleep, so I got to get to bed. So I've got to figure out like what meal can I make, and I don't really want to spend money because it's just a Monday night, and like I'm broke, so like I got to make something so I don't have to like spend money, right? So that's what like a normal person who's like trying to do a stream and like has the job to do the next day thinks about with food, right? But if I was like super rich, I might be like, oh, I'm hungry. Like, what can I order my personal chef to like make me? Or like what, like luxury restaurant in town can I like shame the owner into like personally delivering something to me? Right? Like it's the same problem, but the translation is different, right? So when we go to Grindr.com and we're thinking about like, how does this whole brat thing play out? Like what it's giving you is how being a brat plays out for like normal people, right? If you're like a normal person and like you're a brat, like, oh, so you have to like send them embarrassing text, or like it said, run away from them in the store, or like annoy them by trying to cuddle when they're trying to watch the football game. Like, normal partner type annoying things. But when it's Donald Trump and you're a billionaire and you're also like the most corrupt president in the history of the world, and the Supreme Court has basically said that you have immunity for anything that you do, like it's much harder to play catch me if you can. Right? You've got to do crimes in a way that are actually like personal. That way they kind of like expose you to like risk, but then kind of like challenge the system and kind of hide behind your official duties to like cover up for it, right? That way there's kind of like a tension there that you can kind of play with, right? And so it's much harder. It's a much tougher game, but that's what he's doing. He's playing catch me if you can, but he's doing it in like the billionaire president corrupt asshole kind of way. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, oh, like, let me just bomb a few countries and like see if I get brought up on war crime prosecution or not. Or like, let's invade Nigeria guns blazing because I can say they're like murdering Christians or something. Let's see what I can pull off while I'm here. Like, can I really just like go invade Africa guns blazing because I said they're killing Christians? Like, will I get away with that? Catch me if you can. You know what I mean? Like that's where he's at with it.
Whiplash that we are having in the news from what he's doing, what other people in the administration are doing. Oh my gosh, this is happening over here, that's happening in this part of the world. What do you mean this is? I think that this is part of the running away. Like, yes, it's part of 2025, Project 2025, Project Esther, and the dismantlement of
absolutely
American society.
Absolutely.
But also that doesn't mean that he can't get turned on in the process. And finally, do the opposite. You've been asked to cut it out. Don't. You've been warned that you'll get a spanking if you
do that again.
Do it again.
Do it again. You're a brat.
Every day is opposite day.
This is so true. You've been asked to cut it out. Don't. You've been warned that you'll get a spanking if you do it again. Do it again. When you're a brat every day. This is so him, y'all. This is so, and I think that that's what they love too, right? Because even like the Christianity, like it fits right in, right? Like they're all so worried about their sexual sin, right? But then we all know they're going to do the freaky deaky stuff that they're so obsessed with, and like they know. But that's it. Like they get to go. It's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and I swear, and I promise, if you forgive me this one time, God, I won't do that. I won't do it again. I swear, because I'm so afraid of your wrath. I'm so afraid of your punishment. I'm so afraid of your judgment, and I just love you so much, God. I'll never do it again. I promise. I'll never do it again. No, I'm getting goddamn well. They're gonna do it like the same night. They're gonna do it like the same night, or like the later that day, like the next day, like whatever it is. If it's like the porn stuff, or the grinder stuff, or like the cheating on the wife, or the beating on the wife, or the eating on the wife, whatever kind of kinks they're into, or the little girls, whatever it is, it's like we all know you're going to do it again. Like think about the Epstein ring, 1,000 victims. How many of those dudes like, oh my God, I'm so heartily sorry, Jesus, please forgive me. I promise I'll never do it, and then they do it again. But that's like the kink. It's like each time, like they get to be so scared and so terrified, and they'll do anything to avoid the punishment. But then the punishment doesn't come. The punishment doesn't come because God is not fucking real. It's a fucking game. It's a joke. It's a kink. So it's like, of course, the punishment doesn't come. You haven't been caught yet. So then just do it again, and then they can just repeat the cycle over and over and over again. It's ridiculous.
You can see this all the way back to the, hey, release your tax return. No, I'm not going to do that. You can't make me.
Sin, pray, repeat. Exactly.
Re-election campaign. It was things that people were asking for, all the way down to like things that he started promising people. Oh yeah, the price of eggs, the price of gas. I'm going to make the economy great again. And then people were like, oh, okay, yeah. Like he started doing it to himself, where he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to lie and get myself set up, and maybe somebody's going to punish me because I've obviously been lying. I've been such a bad president.
It's so true, though. I don't know. I don't know, gang. Listen, I think we're on to something, gang. I think this is the most sophisticated, good faith, well-researched, thorough analysis that's been performed heretofar on this channel. And I think we deserve credit for this. Okay, listen. I'm going to tell you something from all of my years of studying people, and don't worry, I'm totally not misrepresenting this to entertain you on a YouTube show. it's all about sex. It's just it's people say it's turtles all the way down. It's really sex all the way down. And so I think we've stumbled onto something. I think what's really missing from this whole political commentary space is the sex of it all. And that's maybe that is another thing that's come out of this whole Epstein thing is we're finally going to talk about sex in politics. This is definitely not what it should have taken to gone down this route, but this is where we are, gang. And God damn it, these are the consequences of not kink shaming our politicians earlier. Okay, from now on, you got to figure out what type of freaky this person that's asking you to go into that booth and check the box for them. And what does that type of freaky say about them? And it might say good things. I'm not saying we should be yucking people's yum. I just want to know what your yum is so I can decide if I want to yuck it. You understand what I'm saying to you? Some of the stuff y'all are into, I'm gonna be like, yuck, I'm not voting for you. That's weird. No, I would not let that type of organism lick that particular condiment off of that part of my body. But if that's what you're into, it depends on what you're running for. Like I'm not like mayor, probably not, but like, school board maybe we'll give you a shot and see how it goes. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you're into like straight partner swapping, I don't know. That could suggest like, atypical gender roles, open-mindedness, maybe communist leanings, right? Like maybe against private property. I don't know. I could work with that. That could be low key feminist. I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. We just gotta know. It's just the type of information I think should be part of public disclosure so that we can be informed voters. That's all I'm saying.
Tell me no, and then they're going to, I don't know, put me in a corner, make me sit down, think about what I've done. And nobody's done it.
Yeah, Kay. Yeah. Let us know how willing you are to do the hard work that needs to be done for democracy. These are the questions that matter. Can you imagine the debate, though? The debate would be lit, gang. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about the debate? How much more lit would the debate be?
My big revelation, like it's kind of been percolating, but I think watching his reaction to Mam-Dom-Me really cemented it for me. He gave up on the Democrats doming him. He gave up on the Democrats taming him. It's not scratching his undropped balls. He's like, the itch is not getting scratched.
Yeah.
But I think what he's noticed with the run that Zoran has had is that he's like, ooh, maybe the American public will be able to dom me. If the American public and Zoran being like a leader, quote unquote, within this new thing that he's trying, like Trump is looking for somebody. Once again, I'm a liar. What do I know? You can't sue me. This is all not real. I think that. Okay, wait, let me get back. I think that Trump, interestingly enough, is within this specific theory that I am discussing right now, is looking, praying, and hoping for somebody, and I think that somebody is personified like that. I think he's looking for somebody that is decentering him, decentering men, but more specifically decentering him aggressively to respect them and to get his tiny rocks off. Shayna, not everything comes down to sex. They literally had an island where somebody or something named Bubba will never be the same. Anyway, he is looking for somebody / something that he can look to and say, oh, they do not care about my comfort. They do not care about about appeasing me. They are not centering me. They are actively working against me effectively in community in a way that is actually it's effective. I respect that. And now I'm hard. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these, fortunately, I don't know, a lot of rich, powerful, especially white men really get off on that kind of stuff. Especially
Again, like they're the Lord and the master, oh master, oh Lord Daddy, oh Daddy, Lord Daddy, please forgive me, Lord Daddy. Oh Lord Daddy, I just want to please you, Lord Daddy. Lord Daddy, you are my purpose. Lord Daddy, you order my steps. Lord Daddy, you created me. You'll determine when I die. The purpose of my existence, Lord Daddy, is to serve you, Lord Daddy. Oh yes, you are my master. Just saying. I'm just saying.
like the degradation part and the being like you're not as rich and strong and powerful and whatever as you think. You're not a big part of my life. You might be important to other people. You're not so much to me. I don't know what goes on in their heads, but it's like a big thing for them. But yeah, I don't know how to wrap up this video, but this has been my theory. This is my theory that I have woken up to, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this because I feel like I'm right.
I think the evidence for this theory is like somewhere between the theory of gravity and the theory of evolution, somewhere between rock solid and utterly irrefutable, just somewhere in that kind of, one of the best supported theories in the history of science kind of space. I don't know. This is just a rough estimate of the strength of the evidence. I didn't do many calculations or anything. But gang, I say we just give him what he wants, right? I just say we put him in a cage and just tell him, you bad boy, you bad boy, you're in a cage now, and this cage is in a prison. And you're the only one here. There's nobody else in this prison with you. So now you're gonna think about what you did. And oops, we lost the key because we hired the government to monitor the prison, and Doge, we decided it was waste and fraud, so we hired just somebody, and they lost the key. I don't even know who we hired. We don't have really a system for record keeping anymore. We doged it. Yeah, we doged it. What is somebody cooking? No, nobody's cooking. No, there's no food here. Something's burning. We got to get out of here. All right, Don, we got to get out of here. Sorry, we lost the key. Good luck. You've been a bad boy. Think about what you've done. Listen. I'm not trying to threaten the man. I'm not trying to suggest that we do violence against him. I'm just trying to say we do a little bit of a social experiment. We give him what he wants just as a test, just to see how he feels about it. This way we can know if this is in fact his kink. And if it is, then we'll have learned something. And either way, we will no longer have Donald Trump. So I should probably go before I'll take this any further. Please remember, Skeptic Haven does not endorse any hostile takeovers of the federal government or endorse any candidates or particular parties or engaging in the political process at all. But thanks to the channel's members on Patreon and here on YouTube. Thanks to all the mods. Make sure you check out all the other great shows here on Skeptic Haven. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time on Black Free Thinkers.